Well, hello there. Hi, it's your old pal Skippy Simon. I got a funny story for you. Okay, so I was walking down Hollywood Boulevard, and outside of the Hustler store, they have all these handprints of old porn stars, like a Walk of Fame type of thing, but for old porn stars. And there were a couple of out of towners, a couple of dudes, a couple of Okies who were just wandering around. This one kid points down in front of the Hustler store. He goes, "Oh, Ron Jeremy, that guy's got the biggest dick in the world." I just started dying. It was too funny. Whatever. That's why I love living in Hollywood. It's just, we get all these like out of towners. They're fun to like listen to. Just goofballs. But hey, they want to come to town and stare at a bunch of like names on the frickin' street. Whatever. It's their life. I live here. Anyway, I was telling this story, and it kind of sucks. It's part of the reason why I think that my comedy career never took off. Was I just didn't have a chance from the beginning, and it sucks because okay, now I'll give you a brief history of my comedy life doing comedy. I started doing stand-up when I was 16 years old at the Funny Bone in Station Square, Pittsburgh, and I had to take a hiatus when I was 18 because I joined the military. And when I was 16, my parents used to have to come down and watch me on stage because the Liquor Control Board would not allow a 16-year-old in a facility that sold alcohol without his parents. So my parents, they came down and they suffered watching me do stand-up at a young age. And mind you, I sucked. I was horrible. I get out of the military and I start doing stand-up again. And I, at the time, was engaged to an internet millionaire. And I decided I didn't want to be married. So I gave up on that and decided to pursue my comedy career. I think I was 26 when I started back at the Funny Bone in Pittsburgh. Because I spent many years just partying and just having a blast, honestly. I was just enjoying life. It's kind of what I've been doing for like a while now, but my life is just enjoying life. That's what your life should be about, enjoying life. You get one chance on this freaking planet, enjoy the fuck out of it. So when I was 26, I got this wild hair up my ass that I was going to do stand-up, and I did. And by the time I was 28, I went from being an open micer at the Funny Bone in Pittsburgh to being the host of the open mic, and then being a feature act. So when out-of-town comedians would come in, I would be the feature act. I'd be the middle act. And I kept thinking to myself, well, if I can do this in Pittsburgh, let me see what could happen if I do it in a big city. So I had to choose between moving to New York and moving to California, and I chose the option with beaches and no snow in the wintertime. I chose wisely. I love it out here. But with that being said, I did the same thing I did at the Funny Bone in Pittsburgh at the Comedy Store. I went from being a nobody to being an open micer, then hosting the open mic for 5 years at the Comedy Store, and then becoming a paid regular at the Comedy Store in record speed in less than 2 years. So I think I may be funny. I think it's going to have to be up to you to decide, but to be quite honest, I make myself laugh all the time. If you could have heard me about 10 minutes ago doing karaoke with the new karaoke microphone, you would have just been in stitches. That's what I got to do, is I got to record myself doing karaoke now, but we'll do that later. I want to talk about this, about how Mitzi Shore, owner of the Comedy Store, helped ruin my comedy career. I used to take care of Mitzi Shore. I used to change her diaper. She had Parkinson's disease, and her family was too cheap to get her actual nurse, and I felt bad for Mitzi at that point. So they made me her personal assistant, caretaker, what have you. And I thought, I was like, all right, whatever. But I didn't realize if you stand that close to the fire, you're going to get burned. Everybody at the Comedy Store hated me because of that. Because I was so close to Mitzi. And all these pricks there were like, oh, he's going to talk shit on me and blah, blah, blah. I didn't do any of that shit. I didn't give a fuck. Not that type of individual. So I had to take care of Mitzi. But there was this one time, okay, I was never afraid of Mitzi. Okay, a lot of comedians were terrified of Mitzi. Open micers, same thing. So as Mitzi's going, oh, Mitzi's here, Mitzi's here. I'm like, so what? She owns a place. You know? I mean, what am I supposed to be afraid of? This little woman who looks like Yoda? I used to get yelled at by drill sergeants. You think I'm afraid of her? No. And besides, I was funny. I already proved myself. So there was this one night I performed at the Comedy Store, and I fucking killed it, okay? I'm really good at stand-up, okay? Mitzi called me a natural. I can trust her with that. She ain't wrong. I'm just gonna have to agree with her. But this one night, Shelby Chong, Tommy Chong of Cheech and Chong, his wife, approached me at the Comedy Store. She said, I want to represent you. And I was like, I don't know who you are. I didn't. I was new at comedy. I was young. It was 2002. So we go over to the Mondrian Hotel across the street from the Comedy Store. We go up to her suite, and she smokes me out with some damn good weed. And I kept thinking to myself, wow, if I sign with her, I am going to be smoking some damn good weed. This was around the time that Tommy Chong was in jail for Chong's bongs, just so you know. So I wanted to get a professional opinion, and I figured if I went to Mitzi Shore, she could give me a professional opinion. I said, hey, Mitzi, check this out. And I show her the business card that Shelby Chong had given me. I go, Shelby Chong wants to represent me. Mitzi, in her little shaky hand, she takes it, she rips it out of my hand, she looks at it all shaking and everything. She goes, I can't let you do that. And I go, why? What's the matter, Mitzi? She goes, she's crazy. And I was like, okay. She says she's crazy. It didn't hit me until years later, when I was trying to get in contact with Shelby to try to rekindle some sort of management relationship. It finally hit me that Mitzi Shore, a crazy woman, just called another person crazy. Mitzi was crazy. I know this because I used to have to fucking hang out with her for hours on end. She's a lunatic. You know, anytime somebody says Mitzi Shore is a genius, I always go, you do know that Pauly Shore shot out of her vagina, right? But that was, it really hit me later on. She told the talent coordinator one time, the talent coordinator told me, Mitzi keeps me on stage because more people drink when I'm on stage. That's what she told the talent coordinator. More people buy booze when I'm on stage. Because I'd come up there with a drink in my hand, just pounding it. That was my shtick. But, yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest. It's not the greatest story in the world. Fucking sucks. But, just want to say thanks for nothing, Mitzi. And, yeah, the Comedy Store's still there exploiting talent, so great. All right. You guys have a great night.